Parkland survivors are also organizing a march in Washington just over a week ago, but many want to know, when is enough? When will they get the changes that they want? Well, if history tells us anything, it could be a while. And here's the reason why. People protested for women's rights starting back in the 1800s, but the right to vote didn't come until 1920. The civil rights movement started in the 1950s, and protesters spent 2 decades fighting for equality that, to this day, still many question. So what does that mean for students now? 10 News reporter Garen Flowers looks into it.
Change takes time.
The struggle is still there.
Clarence Fort fought for integration and for equal rights since he was 20. He knows the time it took for change, but his efforts, along with countless others, helped bring about equality.
We could spend $300 in a store, but we could not sit down and buy a hamburger and a Coke.
What about the women's rights movement, which started in 1848? Many believe it has never ended, with talks of equal pay and sexual harassment still being major issues.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
St. Pete historian Ray Arsenault believes social change is tough because even if you take 2 steps forward, you can take a step back.
As John Lewis always says, it's not an event, it's not a cause, it's a struggle.
With young people walking out and stepping up to gun violence, he says they need to be prepared for the long haul.
One of the great leaders, who's actually from Tampa, Bernard Lafayette, often reminds me that there's a great deal of difference between a protest and a movement.
He also believes the historical cycle spins much faster now because of social media. Only time will tell what the Never Again movement will do. Some change has already been made in Florida, but these students are hoping to change a whole nation. In St. Petersburg, Garen Flowers, 10 News.
Arsenault further said that change is a process that goes through stages where the central arc goes in the right direction.